In the polished world of Hollywood, Ron Howard is the ultimate nice guy. We know him as the polite kid from Mayberry and the steady hand behind the camera. But staying at the top for 60 years requires more than just kindness. It requires a thick skin. Behind that famous smile lies a history of difficult sets and clashing egos. Howard didn't just witness greatness, he survived it. Here are the 6 actors who challenged Howard's patience and showed him the industry's sharpest edges. Number 1 is Frances Bavier, the mask of the matriarch. To millions, Frances Bavier was Aunt Bee, the personification of domestic warmth on The Andy Griffith Show. But for the young Ronnie Howard, Bavier was his first masterclass in the disconnect between public persona and private reality. While the world saw a doting aunt, the cast saw a classically trained New York stage actress living in a state of icy professional disdain. Bavier didn't see herself as part of a good old boy ensemble. She felt trapped in a medium she considered beneath her. Howard describes this as a quiet evil, a coldness that a child actor is uniquely sensitive to. She was an island of austerity who once reportedly took a swing at Jim Nabors with an umbrella because his singing annoyed her. From Bavier, Howard learned a vital directorial lesson. The performance of chemistry is often an act of sheer will. He realized that a family on screen is often just a collection of strangers holding a contract. Number 2 is Yul Brynner, the tyranny of the icon. If Bavier was a cold breeze, Yul Brynner was a hurricane in a silk robe. Howard encountered Brynner on the set of the 1959 film The Journey. At only 5 years old, Howard was thrust into the presence of a man who didn't just play kings. He believed he was one. Brynner moved with a rigid, terrifying grace, issuing decrees rather than speaking. Howard recalls being genuinely frightened by his intensity. Brynner's evil was a form of psychological intimidation. He looked through people rather than at them. Howard watched as seasoned crew members scrambled to appease the star's every whim. This was his introduction to the atmosphere of fear. It was the antithesis of the collaborative spirit Howard would later champion. Today, Howard's sets are famously relaxed, a direct reaction to the Emperor model he witnessed under Brynner. Number 3 is Shelley Long, the perfectionist's purgatory. By 1982, Howard was a young director trying to prove his authority on the film Night Shift. In Shelley Long, he found a brilliant comedienne, but also an analytical anchor. Long's process was so meticulous that it threatened to grind production to a halt. Coming from Second City, Long wanted to know the molecular structure of every line. While Michael Keaton was improvising at a mile a minute, Long was the brakes, demanding one more take long after Howard was satisfied. The friction wasn't born of malice, but of a mismatch in tempo. Howard had to learn to manage a star's obsessive perfectionism without letting it sabotage the film's energy. He realized that being a nice guy wasn't enough. He had to be a clear guy. Long showed him that the most difficult part of directing isn't the lighting, it's the human ego disguised as the work. Number 4 is Russell Crowe, the volatile alchemist. If Shelley Long was a slow grind, Russell Crowe was a lightning strike. When Howard cast Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, the actor was already legendary for his mercurial temperament. This was a clash of the boy next door versus the gladiator. Crowe brought a method, intensity that demanded total creative control. Howard had to act as a lion tamer, providing space for Crowe's genius without letting it maul the crew. The friction reached a peak when Crowe insisted on shooting the film in chronological order, a logistical nightmare. Howard eventually pivoted, realizing Crowe wasn't being difficult for the sake of ego, but for the sake of the truth. He learned that with a volatile alchemist, you don't fight the fire, you channel it. This period marked Howard's transition into a master of performances, proving he could tame the most dangerous elements Hollywood had to offer. Number 5 is Tom Sizemore, the Lost Highway. Tom Sizemore represented a tragic form of friction, the slow-motion collapse of reliability. In the late 90s, Sizemore was a powerhouse, but his struggle with substance abuse made him the poster child for the liability of vice. On Howard's sets, built on a Midwestern work ethic, Sizemore was an unpredictable shadow. This wasn't a clash of egos, but a heartbreak friction. Every day, Howard wondered if his actor would even show up. This taught Howard the limits of diplomacy. He realized you cannot kindness someone out of a crisis. Sizemore represented the evil of wasted time, where creative energy is siphoned off to manage a human breakdown. It led Howard to prioritize character in the personal sense as much as the theatrical one during future casting. Number 6 is Henry Winkler, the paradox of the sidekick. The most complex friction in Howard's career came from his best friend. On Happy Days, Howard was the lead, but Henry Winkler's The Fonz became a global phenomenon. Suddenly, the show's focus shifted, and the network began treating Howard with a stinging disrespect. Executives even suggested changing the title to Fonzie's Happy Days. Howard wasn't jealous of Winkler, but he was protective of his dignity. This was the erasure of the lead. While the press tried to stir a rivalry, the two remained incredibly close. Winkler is even the godfather to Howard's children. However, the professional hurt was real. Howard admitted it, hurt his feelings, and this friction became the catalyst for his move into directing. He realized he could no longer stay in a house where he was a second-class citizen. Winkler's success gave Howard the final push he needed to stop playing a character and start building an empire. Ron Howard's journey through Hollywood wasn't a walk through a garden. It was a navigation of a minefield. From the cold disdain of Francis Bavier to the volcanic genius of Russell Crowe, he encountered every version of the Hollywood shadow. But Howard didn't let the friction burn him. He used it to polish his craft, proving that you can face the most difficult archetypes and emerge with your integrity intact. He is the man who saw the darkness behind the curtain and decided to stay in the light. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the royal time of Hollywood, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you never miss a story behind the legends.